All right, we're recording. Um, damn. It did the same thing today where it it wasn't showing the video. I had to go in there and like select another video capture device and then back to what it was originally set to, the integrated webcam. I even tested like creating like a 6-second video to see if it actually did record video. It just wasn't showing it on the screen. Maybe I'll just have to delete the scene and recreate the scene. Who knows? If it does it again, I'll probably get irritated and do that. But it's done it through, I shut down the laptop completely whenever I stop using it, and then start it up. I don't like put it into sleep or hibernate or anything. So it's done this through a couple of restarts or shutdowns and startups. So CDL School today. Real quick on being sick. So Monday, everybody said they were sick. Tuesday, when Cindy made a big deal out of people being sick, everybody said they weren't sick. Wednesday, today, now everybody's back to saying that they're sick. One of the people that was saying they were sick on Monday and said they weren't sick on Tuesday is now saying that it's just allergies. They don't like have anything, but they said that they had the same chills, they're sweating but cold that I had on Monday, and they have a runny nose and a sore throat as well, but they're saying it's just allergies. I who knows? Another person who was sick with me Monday, not sick Tuesday, and then sick with me again on Wednesday today, said that his wife went to the doctor. She was sick as well, and she came back with antibiotics for him and her, and he started taking antibiotics Tuesday night. I started taking antibiotics Monday night. My sore throat went away almost completely when I started taking antibiotics, and the only thing I've really had since I started taking antibiotics is just a congestion. The congestion is still there, but it is going away. It's almost completely gone. Like right now, I'm not like having to just constantly blow my nose all day. Like right now, my nose is at that point where it's kind of stuffed up, but it's not like really runny. It's just kind of like, I think that by tomorrow I might not have any congestion at all. It's at that point where it's like about to clear up completely, is where it feels like it's at. Now, because of this sickness, my lips are just dry as hell, and my nose is dry, and they're both chapped. My nose is chapped really bad. The video quality is probably not good enough to see it, but like it's chapped to that point where like you can see where the skin is cracked all around my nose. Keith, the one who started antibiotics last night with his wife, I noticed that his lip was bleeding. And I asked him if he bit his lip or if his lips are so chapped that they've cracked and started bleeding. And he said it's because they're so chapped. His lips have dried out so much that they cracked and started bleeding. So yeah, it's... But I'm getting over it, and I'm sure Keith is going to start getting over it in a day or two, because he started antibiotics last night. He started a day after me on antibiotics. And then the other person that was sick said that he's taking Zyrtec for his allergies. So I hope it's allergies, and I hope Zyrtec does, whatever it's supposed to do for him. And then Bruce is old. I don't know how old he is, 60s, 70s. He's the instructor that also got sick with us. And he's been out. He was there on Monday, and he's been out since then, and he's expected to be out all week. So because he's fairly old, he's probably getting hit a little harder with this cold that we have. So I hope he doesn't have any major issues with it. It wasn't really that bad. The sore throat was really, really bad the first day that I got it. Like, it was so bad, I almost thought it was strep. Um, like initially, I thought it was just from like the way I slept, that my throat dried out from like, I don't know, open mouth breathing or something, and it just dried. But Keith said he had the exact same thing with his throat happen, and he said that it was like razor blades. He said his throat was really sore. And if I wouldn't have started antibiotics on Monday, my throat may have gotten as bad as Keith's. Because we all got sick sometime last week, I'm guessing, because I started getting symptoms either Saturday or Sunday. I'm not sure if the poop issue I had on Saturday was related or completely different, but the sore throat and the chills and everything were a Sunday thing. And Bruce said that he started getting symptoms Sunday. Keith said that I don't remember when Keith said that he started noticing symptoms, but he said that he was sick Monday when we started talking about it. So we started getting sick over the weekend. So whoever gave it to us last week, or some prior point past that. But like just sitting in the classroom in the morning when everybody's in there, you can hear people sniffling all throughout the classroom. So I don't know how many people have it, whatever it is. But I was about to lean in, but if I like put my arms on this table, it'll start like wiggling the camera. So I keep trying not to do that. And that could get really irritating. So yeah, I feel like the congestion's going to completely go away anytime soon. Once I finish this video, I need to take my antibiotic for the afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and pop some Tylenol and some other things. The vitamin C pills. The vitamin C pills seem to be making a huge difference in my congestion, because I want to say it was Tuesday night. Or no, it was Tuesday morning. So Tuesday night, my sinus congestion went, kind of away, because I took within about an hour of taking a whole bunch of pills. I took Tylenol, amoxicillin, and a bunch of vitamin C pills, and my sinus congestion went down quite a bit. Well, Tuesday during the day, my sinus congestion got really bad. And then that night, I took that morning I took Tylenol before I went to work. I took Tylenol and I took my antibiotic, the amoxicillin. The only thing I didn't take was the vitamin C pills, and my congestion got really bad. Well, when I got home, I did the same thing. Antibiotic, Tylenol, and then I took the vitamin C pills, and my congestion got tolerable again. So this morning before I went to work, I made sure to also include the vitamin C pills, and my sinus congestion's been fine all day. So vitamin C pills seem to be pretty nice. But I think I started explaining it, and then I cut myself off. But once I get done with this video, the other thing besides taking my antibiotic is the chappedness and everything. I've been doing chapstick on the lips, so they're not like cracked, and they're not really bad. But I'm going to get some Neosporin and put it on my nose. I probably should have done that before the video, and then you get to see the glossy, shiny nose. But I'm probably going to need to do that for a few days to get my nose taken care of. What else? Okay, so class today was we graded a paper in the morning. There was a bunch of confusion as far as the instructor stuff goes. For anyone who may watch these videos, I'm probably going to do a CDL University review video once I finish the class. Anyone who watches all of these videos in regard to CDL University to try to find out if they want to go there, I don't think my experience at CDL University is normal. They're having a major issue with instructors right now. They're having a lot of instructors that just recently went part-time or quit or whatever, but there's like a shortage of instructors, and it's been chaos. So this morning there was they asked Cindy if she could basically work all week. She normally only works, I think, Thursday and Friday. And then they asked her to work Mondays. And now this week, because David and Bruce are both out, they asked her if she could work the whole week, and she's agreed to do that. So whatever her monetary limits are on how much she can make and still retain her whatever it is, disability or whatever, Social Security, I don't know what it is, but she has like it's an annual limit. So if she works like full 40-hour weeks for a couple weeks, then she might have to take time off later and not even be able to work her normal Thursday and Friday. So it might be a trade-off for her. But she's helping out down there. But she usually doesn't do anything except teach the freshman class. She just teaches the freshman class. So we're juniors. We're third week students. So she's not used to teaching third week students. And she told us that today whenever she was taking us through inspections and stuff. She was basically going through the inspections like we'd never done it before and explaining it all to us. And she was telling us her way of doing it, and she explained to us that every instructor might have their own way of doing it. And that's something I've been complaining about the whole time. Is Gary told us at the beginning that you don't have to do it the CDL University way to pass the test, but he said, while we are here, we are going to do it the CDL University way so that we can learn that way and we can have a process and we can easily recognize when we mess up. And that's not what we've been doing. But everybody got pretty riled up today about it. Because of the whole instructor thing, we basically got into a point where we were in limbo and we weren't really sure what was going on. The instructors weren't 100% sure what they were going to be doing. Gary was trying to coordinate all of it. And something that's a little frustrating, well, the whole thing is frustrating, but they keep prioritizing other classes above us. When we were freshmen, they told us that all the the certified instructors are going to be prioritized for everyone above us, especially the senior class. They get first priority, then juniors and sophomores and freshmen. Well, we're juniors now, and the instructor shortage has gotten so bad that, like, basically the senior class is the only class that's getting everything. But they just left us out there for, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes and told us to just do inspections on our own while they went inside and figured stuff out. Aside from that, it was a really good day. We went out and we did some parallel parking. And for the most part, everybody was just nailing it. Everybody was doing great. Everybody was getting along really well. And then we went out driving. Well, we did some parallel parking. Then we went to lunch. And then we came back out and did another round of parallel parking. And then we swapped instructors. And we went out driving, and we only had like an hour and 15 minutes. And I'm comfortable with driving. Keith is decent at driving, but he still wants to work on some stuff. He's not like, he still grinds gears, and he's still not very good at double clutching and stuff like that. He's decent, but he still has room to improve. So he's not in a position where he wants to forfeit his drive time. But in situations like this where we only have like an hour, and if we try to split that between 4 people, then I mean, it takes like 5 minutes just to swap between people. So we'd be wasting probably 20 minutes just switching positions. But Keith and I both forfeited our drive time and let the 2 people who need it the most use that hour between the 2 of them. And we just sat in the back of the truck while they drove. So all in all, it was a good day. Everybody was in good spirits. There was some complaining early in the morning about the whole instructor situation and the lack of continuity on the inspections. But, you know, after that little, you know, ranting and raving that we did outside, then everybody pretty much got along for the rest of the day, and even the person who doesn't seem to like me very much, who I avoid talking to because it seems like my presence upsets him, even he and I got along today and seemed to, you know, get along, I guess. Made it in, and we left a little early. I got home at 4:30, and I thought we left at like 3:40. And I'm like, really? Did it take me 50 minutes to get here? In the mornings, I'm getting to the CDL school at about 6:50, and I'm leaving here between 6:20 and 6:25. So that's like 25 to 30 minutes. So maybe, I don't know, traffic is worse in the afternoon than it is in the morning. So it's 25 to 30 minutes. And if I left at 3:40 to 4:30, that'd be 50 minutes. So an extra 15 to 20 minutes in traffic, that's a lot. I don't think traffic's that bad. The only place where traffic is really bad is the 40-44 junction. It's just because of selfish people passing in the merge lanes and then cutting people off and causing the whole lane to come to a stop. Today, people got, like, you know what I need to do? I got this thing, and I've been like not wanting to put it into my car because you're supposed to put this adhesive pad down, and then you're supposed to peel this off. I just dropped that all the way to the floor. I'm not picking it back up right now. I'll pick it up after the video. But you're supposed to peel this off, and then behind it is this sticky, gooey thing. So you're supposed to put the adhesive pad down and then peel this off, and then stick that to the surface, the pad that I threw on the floor, because I threw it on the ground. Where did it go? Isn't that crazy? Like, you drop something and you look down and it's not there. Gremlins, I tell you. Where could it have gone? Holy crap. But I think I might be able to put this on the window and leave, because I don't want to this isn't, the way this thing is set up, it doesn't look like a temporary mount thing because it's adhesive stuff. So I'm a little upset with that because this is more of a permanent mount, and I got it to be able to use whenever I get in the truck. I can, put it in there in the trainer truck to mount my phone, and then when I get my company truck, I can put it into that. And then when I buy my own truck, I can move it over into that. So in the course of 3 to 6 months, I plan on being in at least 3 trucks. And this is more of like a permanent mount solution. People have said that you can fairly easily move it or remove it or whatever, and that I don't think that the adhesive mount that I threw on the ground, I don't think that is necessary. What I think that's for is like if you put it on a dash that has an uneven surface, that will give you like a good solid surface that doesn't have places where air can come through, that you can mount this on. If you're putting it directly onto a window, I don't think you need that. But anyway, that whole spiel was what I'm thinking about doing is leaving this piece of plastic on. Let's see. It has this. Let me. So it has this thing right here that you pull back, and then you press it in, and that basically is what puts the suction down. Sorry. Yeah, that's not going to work. This desk is a really flat surface. Probably not as awesome as a window, but it is not sticking to this desk. Like it's just letting it sit there without even trying to pull it off. It'll fall over after a few seconds. So I would have to pull that off of there. But I think I might test it out on my window on my car and record myself driving to work. Leaving the phone just sitting up on the dash like I did the one time that I did that video, that was terrible. But maybe I'll do that. Where is my phone? I don't even know if it'll work that like the way I want it to, because I don't know if if there's a place for the camera. Yeah, there is. So if I put it in there like that right there, and I have it up on the window like that, I'll be able to see the screen, and then the camera will be able to look out the window. So yeah, I should be able to record like that. And it has like tons of swivel points and stuff. This thing was only like, oh, good thing I only dropped that thing about 5 inches. This is only like $13, so the directions, like I'm like, I need to move it onto the screen. It's back the other way. There's only like 12 or $13 or something on Amazon. So if it doesn't seal properly after I remove it from the trainer's truck, not that big a deal to buy a new one. And then if I have to buy another one when I move to the other truck, also not a big deal. But I think I might mount it into my car to test it out. I don't know, we'll see. But maybe I'll do that. Just a second, let me blow my nose. I'm going to pause this. Alright, we're recording again. So that's pretty much the whole day. Made home. Oh, what I was saying on recording, the commute, is that today on that 44 junction, people got really, really aggressive. And what's crazy about it is the aggressive drivers, sorry about touching the table, the aggressive drivers are aggressive toward other aggressive drivers. So it's basically aggressive drivers fighting with each other. I'll give you an example. And this is one of the things that's really scary about aggressive drivers, because typically the most aggressive drivers are driving the cheapest cars and trucks, or the ones that are like, I'm not sure if they could pass a vehicle inspection. And I'm just thinking, when these people are just weaving through traffic in they're the cheapest car possible, or this car that looks like it probably can't pass an inspection, I'm just thinking, this person, if they have insurance, which is unlikely, it is the cheapest insurance. So these people that are driving the dumbest are probably the ones that are going to cause you to, have to file bankruptcy if they total your car and you have to go to the hospital and you get $1 million in hospital bills. This person is probably not going to have the insurance coverage necessary or the finances to keep you from filing bankruptcy. But like today, example, a pickup truck, like one of those small ones, like a Ford Ranger or a Chevy S10. I don't know what it was, but it looked like it was bondoed together, and it was like 3 different trucks Frankensteined into one, and it looked like it got into an accident, and there was it. I don't even know how to describe it. It was like something hit the side of it and bent the side back and peeled it back, and then it was sticking out about 1.5 feet. Like, this thing was probably not roadworthy. Well, this guy, I'm driving in the lane. There is a lane to the right of me and a lane to the left of me. Both of these lanes end. They're merge lanes. They come into this one lane that I'm in, and that most everybody is in. Well, there are people who are more important than everyone else that use the merge lanes to pass the line of cars and then cut in front of them and cause everybody to slam on their brakes. Well, this pickup truck did that. Flew by people, and I have a nice distance in front of me because people are constantly slamming on their brakes, and I don't want to have to slam on my brakes for fear of somebody rear-ending me. So I keep a safe following distance, and I know how aggressively people defend that lane. They won't let people merge in front of them. They'll ride 3 inches off somebody's bumper so that nobody can cut in line. Well, I'll let anybody cut in line. I don't care. You cannot fix stupid. There are stupid drivers, bad drivers out there, and I'm not going to try and fight with them. So I just leave the opening there. If somebody needs to move over, I would really appreciate if they throw on a damn indicator and not move over 3 inches in front of me, which, I typically have a really big following distance in front of me, like several car lengths, and cars still cut 3 inches in front of me. I don't understand it. Like, people do not appreciate how dangerous these vehicles are, or how much money it would cost if they hit somebody. But anyway, so this pickup that's probably not roadworthy, I have this big opening in front of me, and anybody that's wanting to can move in front of me. Well, most cars are not getting in front of me. They're using the merge lanes to go all the way up until the merge lanes end, and then they're actually driving on the shoulder and cutting in front of people and having people slam on their brakes. Well, this pickup truck is passing the line in a merge lane, sees the opening in front of me, and then cuts over because he doesn't realize that, like, I'm just letting people in front of me. He thinks that there's this mystery opening in front of me that I'm going to close off at any moment. So he's like, I've got to get in there, and he just jerks it over in front of me and nearly hits me, getting in front of me, and there's probably 6-8 car lengths in front of me. But no, he thinks that he's found this amazing spot. Well, he gets into that spot and notices that there are still cars passing us on the left and the right. So he gets out and starts trying to block these other cars from doing exactly what he just did. He gets so aggressive at it that there was a car, like, now remember, I have like 6-8 car lengths in front of me. Anybody can pull in front of me that wants to. And they're choosing not to. They're choosing not to get in line. They're choosing to use these merge lanes and shoulders to pass people. And this person is losing his mind over this. And he's out there blocking the right merge lane has ended at this point, so they can't pass on that one anymore. But the left merge lane is ending, in about 100 yards. Well, he starts moving out there and trying to block people from passing him. You know, now he's in line now. Nobody can go around him now, even though he just cut in front of 100 people. The rules don't apply to him, but he'll be damned if anybody else does what he just did. And he's really aggressively trying to block people. Well, people are still going around him on the shoulder. Well, he gets up to the point where the merge lane has finally completely ended. And he's trying to block people from passing on the shoulder because people are just passing on the shoulder now. He ran a car off the shoulder into the dirt, and that car still went like 2 feet out into the dirt and went around him. Still, at this point, 6-8 car lengths in front of me. I'm just letting anybody in. Don't be stupid. Right here's an opening. And I just don't understand people. Like, the level of dumb in drivers. It's just people. Like, we need higher licensing requirements and harsher penalties. It is chaos on the roads. Absolute chaos. Wow. But that's like normal. This isn't like that's a normal day. I could tell these stories every single day. Every time going to CDL school, every time coming home from CDL school, stuff like that happens. It's not like some, car story that happened once. Every time I went to work, going to or from work, stupid stuff like that happened. And then on Northwest Expressway, like, there's a lot of stupid that happens. Most of it I don't even bother remembering. There was this little car that was so, like, he was losing his mind because there was like 4 car spaces, like somebody in the middle lane, 3 lanes, had a following distance. Now I'm in the right-hand lane, and I'm about 100, 200 feet behind this situation. Now I've got my normal following distance, 6-8 car lengths, something like that. Huge following distance because this is the right-hand lane, and this is Northwest Expressway, and there's constantly people stopping to turn into some business or something like that out of the right-hand lane, and people that are just jumping out in front of people from businesses. So huge following distance. I'm in the right-hand lane. Middle lane, there's a car that has probably 4 car lengths following distance, and this Nissan, I remember it was a Nissan, like little tiny Nissan 2-door or 4-door sedan, just runs up on this person and starts aggressively like trying to push them to, go, 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 even though they're going the exact same speed as the car in front of them. So this person's like 3 inches off their bumper, and then like there's maybe a car, the cars on either side are basically bumper to bumper. This person forces their way into the far left lane, cutting a couple of people off, causing them to slam on their brakes, because if they wouldn't have hit their brakes, this person would have hit them moving over to that lane. And they're like riding 3 inches off that person's bumper, trying to get them to go faster. And then they come back over. They did this like multiple times, just going back and forth across traffic. It's bumper to bumper. There's not some huge opening in front of all these cars. It's bumper to bumper for as far as the eye can see. It's just a couple of people have some following distance. They're going the same speed as the people in front of them. This is an everyday thing. This is just all day, every day. Impatient, selfish people who think that they're the only ones on the road and that everyone else doesn't know how to drive. No one knows how to drive except this person in this Nissan, who's driving 3 inches off somebody's bumper, acting like a complete idiot. I don't understand people. I just don't understand people. It's not just on the roads. I don't even like going grocery shopping because of how selfish people are. I'll give you an example. There'll be somebody that's trying to choose which milk to buy. And there's only like one thing of milk at the grocery store. There's one thing that has like the regular milk. Like there might be another, shelf for 2% or, flavored water or whatever, but for the real milk that I'm trying to buy, somebody will walk up there trying to figure out which one they want to buy, and they'll sit there with the door open staring at it, not thinking of all the other people sitting there waiting to grab their milk. They'll just sit there for like 5 minutes, and I'll be standing behind them just waiting. And then finally, after sitting there for like 5 minutes, they'll grab their gallon of milk and go about their business. And I will have somebody, after I've been standing there politely for 5 minutes, that will just step in front of me and start doing the same damn thing. I just can't, wrap my mind around how people are so inconsiderate and selfish and greedy. Like, if I'm sitting there browsing something, I will sit with enough space that somebody else can come in and get it. If I want to sit there and peruse the milk, I will set back away from it so that I can peruse the milk. If I want to read a label or something, then I will lean in enough to read the label and then step back out. And if somebody else comes over, I will see, and I'll make some kind of acknowledgement. Are you going for the milk? And they'll be like, yeah. And I'll be like, go ahead. I'm still looking. That's the kind of person I am. It seems like everybody else is just a complete jackass. That's what it seems like. Maybe those are just the people I encounter. But anyway, that's enough of me ranting about how annoying it is to just go out in public. People are just so selfish and greedy and inconsiderate. But I need to work on my pre-trip paper tonight. Tonight's going to be the first night that I work on it in a long time, because basically I've been sick the last... I worked on it Saturday, and I planned on working on it Sunday, but I was sick all day Sunday. And then I didn't sleep well Sunday night, so Monday when I got home I didn't work on it, and I just tried to sleep because I was sick. I didn't sleep well. I was waking up every 15 minutes all night long. And then, Tuesday, same thing. I guess no. I guess it wasn't the same thing. Last night was Tuesday night. Last night I actually slept pretty good. So tonight, I'm not completely exhausted. So I'm going to try and finish my pre-trip paper, or at least get some more of it done. And everybody was so nice in class today that once I finish my pre-trip paper, I think I'll go ahead and print out copies for each of the other 3 people in my class. Probably not going to give one to CDL University. I'm not getting my $6,000 worth out of them. But I will say that I was really, really mad in yesterday or the day before's video, and I said that if I get my CDL, it's not because of CDL University, it's because of me. I still believe that, but not to that degree. I was really mad when I said that. There are a lot of things that I'm getting out of the school, but I'm just really frustrated over the instructor situation. And we were talking about it today, and the little idiosyncrasies between the various instructors about how they do their, inspections and stuff would not be a big deal if we didn't have this instructor issue. The way it's normally supposed to work is that week 1, you have an orientation or classroom instructor, which they're so short-handed on instructors that Gary, the director, is doing the classroom. And Cindy said that Gary doesn't normally do that. But because the person who normally does that's busy doing something else or doesn't work there anymore, I don't know which, Gary is stepping in to do the classroom training every week. And then Cindy typically does the Thursday, Friday for the freshman class, taking them out to drive for the very first time. That's normally what Cindy does every week. And then once you go from freshman to sophomore, you get assigned one of the normal instructors, and that's your instructor every day going forward for your remaining 3 weeks. Because of their instructor shortage, they've been like, you're getting a new instructor every day, and you're having to deal with that, like, instructors, like, their personal things. Like, every instructor has their own way of doing things. And if we were in the normal system where we were just assigned, like, let's say Raleigh and Daryl are two, I think Raleigh and Daryl are the only two full-time instructors that are, like, fully certified. Russ is a full-time instructor. He's there Monday through Friday, but he's not fully certified, and he's only been there for like 2 or 3 weeks or 4 weeks or something. I think 2 weeks longer than I've been there, and I've been there, this is my 3rd week, so somewhere between 4 and 5 weeks. He doesn't know the system. But if it worked normally and we were assigned somebody like Raleigh or Daryl on our 2nd week, and we had them throughout the rest of training, then we would be learning like Daryl's inspection, the way he teaches it. And we wouldn't have any of these issues. We wouldn't be getting told, something one day and then the next day told something different. Like today, what Cindy started doing is telling us to not call out stuff individually, like combine as much stuff as you can. So whenever you're talking about the push rod and the slack adjuster, do them both at the same time. Call out the push rod and slack adjuster and say that they're properly mounted, secured with clevis pin and cotter key, no breaks, cracks, the push rod is not bent. Do those two things together instead of doing them separately. Well, that's Cindy's personal little way of doing the inspection. And every single instructor has their own little personal way of doing it. Cindy told us on checking lug nuts, just say streaks. Don't say anything about rust, just streaks. Well, what we were just told the day before was that on aluminum wheels we should say streaks, and on non-aluminum wheels, like iron or whatever, or steel, that we say rust, because steel or iron wheels, I don't even know what they're made of, they rust. Aluminum doesn't rust, so you'll get streaking on aluminum, and that's how you tell if they're loose. And you'll get rust on iron, so they said to say streaking or rust. No streaking or rust if you can't distinguish between aluminum and steel or whatever the other kind of wheels are. Just say no streaking or rust. Well, Cindy said don't say anything about rust, just say no streaking. Well, these are personal little things that the instructors have about the way they do their inspections. And it is just it was annoying and then frustrating, and now it's to the point where people are just pissed. Like, they are just like angry mob. We were an angry mob this morning because Cindy was telling us yet another way of doing an inspection. Every time we do an inspection with a new instructor, they tell us to do it different. And it is like really, really, really ticking us off. There was almost a mutiny this morning about it. I got to the point, like, first week where I realized what was going on, and I was just like, I'm just going to learn the damn pre-trip on my own, and whenever they give me feedback on, like, their own personal way of doing it, I'm just going to let it go in one ear and out the other, and I'm not going to adjust what I'm doing based on their little personal way of doing it, because I'm not going to try and learn 5 or 6 different personal ways of doing the inspection. I'm going to learn my way based on the information they provided. I'm going to have to put my own inspection together, and just learn that inspection that I pieced together from the information they have available in the videos and the guides and the little picture book and everything else that they gave us. Which is what I should be doing right now, and I don't feel like doing it, so I keep talking. You know how it is. um, but yeah, there was almost a mutiny this morning. It was crazy because everybody was really like on the verge of mutiny this morning, and then everybody got along and was in a great mood the rest of the day. It was huge shift, but it was weird day. All in all, everybody's in a really good mood today, and everybody got along really well. Um, Again, like yesterday, there are some personal things that are discussed briefly throughout the day that I'm not gonna like. Nobody really watches these videos, but like Gary, if you're watching these videos, you're not gonna get any juicy stuff out of me. Gary's the director of the school. I nobody watches these videos, but still, if like the personal stuff becomes common knowledge throughout the school, then I'll talk about it. But I don't want like to start drama. Like everything, like I said yesterday, there's nothing I say in these videos that I'm would try to hide. We're pretty vocal about how we feel. Like this isn't like something that I'm just venting about on this channel. Like we have told the instructors how annoying it is. Like every time this happens, like today, we told Cindy, like every damn time we get a new instructor, they have their own way of doing the inspection, and it's really frustrating, and we're tired of it. And the other thing that's annoying is that Cindy had no idea how many times we'd done these inspections. So she was like teaching us how to do the inspection. So the first time that they do the inspections, they basically just walk us through it, and they're the ones that are actually doing the inspection. Well, after that, they slowly wean you off of that until you get to the point where they just sit back and wait for you to screw up. Well, we're at that point where they should be waiting for us to screw up. And today, since this is the first day Cindy's done this inspection with us, or I think this is the first time Cindy's ever done an inspection with us, she was at that instruction level where she was just basically walking through everything. And like she wouldn't let anybody really do an inspection. As soon as they would like hesitate, she would jump in and tell them what to say. So that's the other thing that's frustrating with getting constantly new instructors assigned to us, is they don't really know where we're at in like our progress and how like good we are or how bad we are at something. So they're having to kind of evaluate us. Just it's really annoying, really annoying. And what's really sad about this whole thing is we've only got two days left as juniors. Next week's our last week in the class, and this has just been it's been so annoying. We've only got 1 week left, and I think we've only done a trailer inspection once. We've only done coupling once, I think. We've only done a Section B inspection, I don't know, like 2, maybe 3 times. Like, we are way, way, way behind in inspections. And I have been doing a lot of studying on my own on the inspections, so I think I'm going to be able to pass the inspections, but I am not so sure that everybody else in the class is going to be able to do the inspections and pass it. I think we're going to have a lot of failures in the class. And here's the other thing. Next week, we're seniors. That's our last week. Normally, we would be testing that following Tuesday. So we would still be like a week and a half away right now from doing our test. Well, everyone has been testing a week early because of shortages of classes. Well, we had the Christmas week where they didn't have a class, and then the freshman class that was supposed to start this week, they didn't have enough people for it, so we have a lot of openings, and every class, like the senior class right now, they're going to do their tests tomorrow. They would normally do them on Tuesday. Well, next week, nobody's going to be testing on Thursday because the senior class should be tested out by then. So we're going to be doing our tests Thursday of next week. So we've only got Thursday, Friday of this week, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We've only got 5 days of school left before we take our CDL test. And we have, let's see, we have 7 total days of CDL school left. But we only have 5 days of instruction left. Because our 6th day of CDL school that we have left is going to be a test day. And then our 7th day, we should have our CDL at that point, and we're just going to come in just to get our 8 hours so that we can log that we did a 160-hour class, or 160-hour school. So we're in crunch time right now. This is the last weekend that I have to study for the pre-trip. That's it. This is the last weekend that I have. I thought that I was going to have next weekend as well, but since we're going to be testing on Thursday of next week, I do not have another weekend to study. So I need to get the pre-trip done by the weekend so that I can memorize it over the weekend. And then the Super Bowl. I was just told today the Super Bowl is this weekend. I thought it was next weekend. So, like, if I get my CDL a week earlier than expected, then that's awesome. But I've been procrastinating on a whole bunch of stuff, and everything looks like it's going to happen a week earlier than expected. So this weekend is going to be a busy weekend for me. And then next weekend is going to be a really busy weekend for me, because if I'm able to get my CDL on Thursday, that means that I can be in the Monday orientation at USA Truck instead of the Wednesday orientation. So I'm not going to have those additional 2 days to prepare like I thought I was going to have. So, yeah, everything just got pushed up by about a week. You know what? I might actually, I'm going to try to be fully prepared this weekend. And if I get to a point where I think I'm fully prepared this weekend, then I might ask them Monday if I can, do the CDL test Tuesday. And I'll still have to go to school the remainder of the week, but it'll basically, what it'll do for me is it'll clear my evenings. I won't be using my evenings to study, because even if I think I've got it all down on the weekend, if I'm testing on Thursday, I'm still going to use every one of those evenings to prepare for the test. But if I already have my CDL, I don't need to prepare for the test anymore, and I can use those evenings to do house stuff to prepare for going to USA Truck or whatever company I decide to go with. I haven't really even been researching companies. I'm pretty set on USA Truck. It is going to be an enormous shock to me if USA Truck says that they don't want me. I have no idea why they would say that. But 53 minutes, it's going to be an hour long. This whole coronavirus thing, Wuhan virus, what else are they calling it? 2019 NCOV, the 2019 novel coronavirus, all these various names it has. The economic impact of what has already happened. If everything went back to normal tomorrow, there would be economic repercussions. I was trying to do 2 words in 1 word. Economic repercussions for weeks or months, just from everything that's been shut down in China so far. Like, you're talking, I don't know how many, there's what, 1.4 billion people in China? I'm not 100%, somewhere in that area. Approximately 1.4 billion people in just China. There are, shutdowns and quarantines and things happening outside of China. there are slowdowns happening. But just China, last I heard, there's something like 60 million people that are under some form of quarantine or shutdown or transportation restrictions just in China. All of the manufacturing and distribution that's going to affect in the country, and then everything that's going to affect everybody else, everywhere else. Just like think of this on a minor like scale. Just think about a factory in China that makes, I don't know, let's just say some really basic component like silicon sheets. Well, those silicon sheets may go out to various places around the world, and maybe these factories in I keep getting it confused on whether Wuhan is the province or Hubei is the province. I think Wuhan is the city and Hubei is the province of where this all broke out. But let's just say I think it's Hubei is the province. Let's say the Hubei province is like 25% of the silicon chips manufactured in the world. Well, 25% of the production of these silicon chips or whatever just disappeared. It just got shut down. They're no longer being made. They're no longer being distributed. The transportation has been shut down in that province, or in the city of Wuhan. So let's say that there's factories in Taiwan where they make motherboards. Well, they need those silicon chips or those silicon boards or whatever to make their motherboards. That is a component piece of that. This is going to have ripple effects throughout the entire world economy. It's so integrated that like a little thing here in China is used on things all over the world, and if this doesn't get made in Taiwan because of missing a component here in China, then this thing can't be made over in the Netherlands, which can't be made over here. It's going to like cause a lot of shortages, supply disruption, which is going to affect people's bottom line. There was some headline that I didn't bother reading the article, but a headline I saw was something about I don't know if it was one company or just tourism in general in, I think, Japan, but there was something like 20,000 cancellations for like some tourism company in Japan, I think it was. 20,000 cancellations. That's just one tiny little aspect of what's the consequences of what has happened so far. And if this keeps expanding, the world economic impact, just completely forget about the people who get sick and die. Like, there may be 100 million people that die from this. Completely forget about that. And just think about the economic impact. I'm switching jobs, and like this if I would have known this was going to happen, I would not have chosen this particular time to switch jobs. I would have stayed at my current job until like this whole thing resolved itself. This is a terrible time to switch jobs. The trucking industry, there's probably going to be a reduced freight. The number of freight loads are probably going to go down as a result of this virus. Because as these China places shut down, there's going to be less goods that come over into the United States. There's going to be less goods that need to be shipped out of the ports. There's going to be less goods manufactured in the United States that rely on goods being, coming over here. That whole supply chain issue. So just freight movement in general is probably going to slow down. And I am moving into this industry right at this point. This could possibly delay me getting my own truck. Because if this is bad or looks like it may get bad or get worse, when it comes time for me to get into my own truck, then I may delay getting into my own truck because I don't want to get into that situation uh, during some kind of economic downturn, because I'm not going to have the capital to withstand something like that at that point. I'm going to be like, right now I have the funds to get my business started with a little bit of wiggle room. And if I start my business right in the midst of a downturn, you really need a lot of capital, a lot of nest egg to withstand something like that in a business. And it would be really bad for me to do that. I don't know. Maybe this will end up being a good decision, because what I was doing um, in IT, like, that's one of those things that's really fickle. The company I worked for was a massive international company, and they're publicly traded. So if there's a massive downturn, they could shut down an entire site. So, like, my job could get squashed overnight at the place where I worked at previously. Transportation is going to continue regardless. That's going to happen. But I may be in a position where I have to switch companies, and it may get to a point where companies stop hiring students. Like, if there's enough veteran drivers to fulfill all the jobs, students are terrible hires. They're really, really bad to hire students. Like, you don't want to hire student drivers. You do it because you have to. If the industry downsizes to the point where you don't really need student drivers, then you'll want to be a veteran with a really, really good record. So hopefully I can get my foot in the door and get to some type of veteran status, get through student, get hired on before there's really any major economic impact felt. Like, right now, I'm sure that there are people that are sitting there thinking what I'm thinking. If I'm thinking it, I know other people have to be thinking it, especially people that are in the know on economics and stuff like that. The ripple effect of what, like, China shutting down. Like, there is a fairly massive shutdown in China right now. It's not like the country is just completely shut down, but there is a massive shutdown in China. But the whole country isn't shut down yet. They're talking, like, if this keeps growing, like, all imports and exports and all travel to and from China may stop completely. We could be weeks, maybe months away from that. Countries could go into isolation. Like, this, the potential that this has is scary. Now, there's something that I watched in a video last night. Now, it's by a conspiracy theorist YouTube channel, but they supposedly had someone on that has a PhD in like genomics, and this person with a PhD in genomics, the like genome, the DNA, the structure, or no, it's not DNA. This is an RNA virus. Whatever it is, the sequence for it is publicly available to look at. Well, this person who understands that crap, because he has a PhD in it, went and looked at it. And he ran a comparison against it and SARS, MERS, and 2 other things, I think. I think it was a total of 4 things. And what they were basically saying in this hour-long podcast is that this person with a PhD in genomics or whatever was saying that it looks like 4 different coronaviruses that were spliced together. It doesn't look natural because the RNA sequences look like snippets of 4 different viruses. They're too, like, similar in these sections to the other viruses to be naturally occurring. The likelihood that this would be a naturally occurring thing is insanely like beyond reasonable that this would occur naturally. It looks like there's a weapons laboratory, or I don't even know if there is a, I don't know if it's technically called a weapons lab, but there was a research lab that was researching SARS and MERS and all these coronaviruses in Wuhan, where this all broke out. And right at the very beginning, it was speculated that this could be some type of breach from that biological facility. That was probably a weapons, facility. They were studying these viruses there, and they were potentially weaponizing them. And it looks like they took sections from various ones to make them more virulent. The problem that SARS and MERS and all these other viruses had was that they weren't extremely contagious, and they made you sick so fast that you didn't really have a chance to infect other people. So the big difference between this and what we've had in the past in these, viruses, these coronaviruses that have busted out recently, is that this one has this huge window where you're asymptomatic and you're still contagious. And that is what is causing this one to be so contagious. And I think it's like 3 times more contagious. The R0 value or R0 value is like 3 times the flu. The flu has an R0 value of like between 1 and 1.28, I think is what this PhD said. This doctorate person. And I think the Spanish flu only had an R0 value of like 2 or 3 or something like that. This thing has an R0 value of between like 2.5 and 6. It is insanely contagious. It is like, I'm getting sick and tired of seeing headlines of people saying, don't worry about the coronavirus, the Wuhan virus. The common flu is worse than that. The common flu is not nearly as contagious as Wuhan, and we have vaccines for the common flu. We have natural immunity to the common flu. This is a novel or new virus. No one in the world has any kind of immunity to this virus. So everyone is susceptible to catching this virus. It's like, I don't know how many times more contagious than the common flu. And the common flu has a mortality rate of something approximately 0.05%. This thing has a mortality rate of, the rough guesstimate they have right now is somewhere between 2 and 4%. I've heard numbers that are as high as 14%. There was really, really early on in this virus, they took a section of people, like 41 people. So 41 people that's not really a good, you can't get accurate numbers on such a small sampling. But out of like 41 people, I think 14% of them died. Like, the numbers that they got out of that sample group were scary. Really scary. So when they say the mortality rate is 2 to 4%, that's based off of the official numbers that China is pumping out, which everybody agrees is a lie. We haven't had this breakout really bad outside of China in a country where we can get real numbers. And all of the infections that we're seeing in, outside of China, there's like a 2-week lag on that because of the incubation period. It can be up to 14 days. So these people that are going to the hospital because they're symptomatic, they may have caught this 14 days ago. And they may have been spreading it for 14 days before they, even start showing symptoms. So they may be 15, 16, 17, 18 days from when they caught the virus before they eventually go and tell somebody, hey, I have Wuhan connections and I'm not feeling too good. I'm feverish. Because, the 14th day or 15th day, they might start having symptoms, but the symptoms may not get bad enough for them to go to the hospital until day 15, 16, 17 or something like that. Even 14. There was 14 days that they were hanging out at Starbucks and going to the gas station and coughing on their hand and opening the door. And like, there's about a 2-week lag in what's happening. So these infection numbers, I think, they're going to skyrocket. It is going to be insanely high. I think this could have possibly been something that was leaked out of some type of biological, like this could have been something that they were testing that got out in China. They might have been trying to weaponize SARS, and this might be the weaponized SARS. Even if it is a naturally occurring thing, what we know about it is scary. And the media, some media is, I feel, is like properly reporting it. You know, they're not being doom and gloomers and talking about worst case like I was just doing. But they're also not trying to say, oh, it's nothing, just keep going to the movies and McDonald's and do your thing. It's, you know, the flu is worse than this thing. There have been 8,000 people died of the flu already this year. And there's only been 100 people in the entire world die to the coronavirus. 8,000 people have died in the United States alone this year to the flu. Don't worry about the Wuhan virus. There are news agencies doing that stupid crap. That upsets me. But it seems like it's not being covered as much as it should be covered in the media. And I think people have in general just stopped. They don't trust the media. I don't know how long it's been that people, like, I haven't trusted the media for probably 20 years. But it seems like it's just now becoming fairly common, at least in the United States, around the people that I know, that nobody really trusts the media. It's a bunch of very, very biased reporting and just propaganda from the political parties or from the government or whatever. It's just, or whoever is throwing the most money at them. It's terrible. But anyway, I'm just rambling. I'm going to stop rambling. But yeah, the whole point of that was just that basically, I can't believe that I'm not so much worried about my own mortality with the Wuhan virus as I'm worried about how it's going to affect me financially in transitioning jobs. Like, I'm starting to get scared of that. Anyway, thanks for watching. God, this is the longest video ever. Alright, thanks, bye.